Question 4B. November 2015, question 4. Question 4B.
Yes.
So we have been told that the following data has been collected from the Ministry of Commerce and the Industrialization for the fiscal year ended 30th June 2015. So we have the reserve long-term borrowing, accumulated surplus, cash and cash equivalent, receipt from the foreign exchange transaction, inventories, employee benefit obligation, transfer from exchequer, fines and penalties, revenue from exchange transaction, properties, tax revenue, transfer from other ministries, properties and plant equipment, trade payables, investment, employee cost, transfer to other ministries, impairment losses, surplus and consumable used, other expenses and payable received in advance. Required statement of financial position for the Ministry of Commerce and Industrialization as of 30th June 2015 in accordance with the IPSA 1 presentation of financial statement. Presentation of financial statement. So they need the balance sheet in short, but there is no way you will prepare a balance sheet without having the statement of performance, which in their case is, or in the private sector, we call it the P&L, but in the ministries, it is not profit and loss account, but the statement of performance. So you need to have the statement of performance. This is the Ministry of what? Commerce. So we have Ministry of Commerce and statement of performance. Statement of performance as at that is 30th June 2015. So for the statement of performance, you only need to know the revenue or the inflows minus the outflow, or what is called the expenditure. So it is the difference between the inflows and the expenditure. So if you check this statement, what are these expenditure? Reserve, long-term borrowing, cash, receivable, inventory, employee benefit, transfer from. So we have the transfer from exchequer, that is the national treasury. So that is the revenue. So we'll have the revenue. We have transfer from exchequer. Transfer from exchequer of, I like ruling the question. So if I pick the wrong value, kindly let me know. So I think it's 31 to 50. What other revenue do we have? Fines and penalties. We have fines and penalties from the citizen. So it's also an income, 6 to 50. And then we have revenue from exchange gain. Revenue from exchange transaction. Revenue from exchange transaction. That is 12, 50. We got property tax revenue. Property tax revenue of 7,500. And then we also have a transfer from other ministries. Transfer from other ministries. Transfer from other ministries. 625. Do we have any other revenue? So I'm not seeing any other revenue. So get the total and then expenditure. Expenditures. So expenditures, we have, we start top there so that as we go, we check whether which is the expenditure. Transfer to other ministries. Transfer other ministries. Transfer to other ministries. 62.50. Then we got impairment loss. Impairment loss. 12.50. Consumable or supplies. 5,000. Other expenses. 10,000. We have payment or not, that one. So get the total and then get the surplus or deficit. Get the surplus or a deficit. Get a surplus or a deficit. So get the total of this. So this one I'm getting 48, 46, 875. What about the expenditure? Expenditure tumeweka zote kweli? Employment cost. Those are salaries. Employment cost. Employment cost ni ngapi? 12,500. 12,500. So this one is 40. So what is the surplus? Get the difference, 46,875 minus answer. We are getting a surplus of 68,75. So that is the surplus of the Ministry of Commerce. So we can have that statement or you have managed. So that is the statement of position. So you start with the assets. You will list the asset we have there. I can see cash, but we can start with from the list of the non-current assets. Property, plant, and equipment, PPE. We've got PPE of 43,750. What else do we have? Investment. Investment property. Investment property of 6250. And then what else do we have on non-current assets there? Can't go to the current assets, but we just need to list all of the assets. I can see cash and cash equivalent. Cash balance of 6250 again. Receivables from the exchange transaction. So we have receivables of 2500. What else do we have as investment as assets?
Inventory.
Yes, inventory.
Inventory.
Inventory. Inventory. Inventory, we have 12.
12.
Yes.
50.
If you don't have any other ones, you can add that. Then we go to the reserves. So reserves, you can see the balance brought forward of the reserves, which is 22,500. Accumulated surplus of 93.75. Surplus for the year, you got 60 what? 68. It was 75 or 78. Confirm the surplus, and then the liabilities.
75.
Liabilities, we got long-term borrowing. Long-term borrowing of 7,500. And then trade payable, I'll say trade payable. Trade payable. Trade payable of how much is our trade payable? 60. 250. Do we have any liability? Payment received in advance. Where did we put that one? Payment received in advance. Have we captured that one? Payment received in advance. That is a liability. So it is a liability to them. Advance payment. And 500. I think that is it. Get the total. Get the total. Let's start with the asset for the 3,750 plus 6250 plus 6250 plus 2,500 plus 300. So this one is 60,000. about the other ones. This one is 38, 750. This one is 16. So add the two, so plus 38, 750, 55. So there is 5,000 we have not captured. Where is 5,000? Employee benefit obligation. Employee benefit obligation is a liability, so they'll have to pay that due maybe for the employee obligation. Employee obligation of 5,000. So which means this one will be 2150. So if you add the two, you should get 60,000. 60,000. So that is the statement of financial position for the ministries. So if you get for the ministries, you start with the statement of performance for you to get this surplus for the year. Even if the question is asking you, like in this case, it is asking you the statement of financial position. Unless you know the revenue, you can even, you don't need to do it. You can even write the list as part of your working. You write the list of the revenue and expenditure, subtract to get that, or do that, and then the balancing figure will be the revenue from the, or the surplus from the statement of performance. You can do this one, but the balancing figure, that element, you don't want to prepare the statement of performance. Any questions? For that, so make sure you revise the other questions. There is a question which I might not do the revision because that one, like cooperative society, professional firm, pension, what else? Those are the direct. You just need to see the format, and if you get the questions, nothing else will be given. There, the only adjustment which is there is the depreciation and bad debt. Those are the only adjustment which we have, because our class will end on 9th of August. So I hope at least by 10th